Well, I had the unique privilege of sitting in the Medical Affairs Committee, or really a subcommittee rather, dealing with Bill S323 in South Carolina. I went during the hearing just not too long ago, and had a unique experience. I wanted to detail that experience. Several observations. I was able to attend. The event started at 2. I showed up a little bit late, and it was packed. It was surprisingly packed. I mean, not quite no gigantic protesting marches or anything like that, but there's certainly a presence at the Capitol there. And this was my second or third real experience. First time going to like an actual hearing. I've been involved in a few different things and seen a couple of different events, but this was my first hearing I had to sit through. And to an extent, I had an idea of what to expect, but it was really different when you're there. It's really different when you're there. You can watch some of these interactions online of these particular individuals who support the killing of unborn children, and you just look at them and go, that's not a real person. At least any reasonable Christian, I think, perhaps should have that response of, there's something wrong with that individual. There's something missing. There's a part of them that's not there. And I'll elaborate that on in a second. But I arrived at the event a little bit after it started. It was already packed. There was a couple of tents outside. Very stereotypical. I'll say that. The opposition has a very stereotypical look. And I won't say anything mean about anybody, but, if it's a stereotype, the shoe fits, you know what I'm talking about. Those who oppose, those who wish to see the continual murder of our neighbors in the womb, they have a particular look about them. They do. So lots of that stereotype were there. Went into the building, found the right building. I went to the wrong building originally, and then I was like, okay, and I figured it out. Went to the building, and it was full. There's 2 rooms, which in total was maybe 100 seats. I mean, it's not like a lot of seats that were available, but it was a good number. And I waited for a little bit, maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after it started. I finally got to go up, and some seats had opened up. And I first got to go into the overflow room. And it was an interesting experience. The overflow room is one of the most odd experiences in my life, in that I walked in, and there's sort of 3 kind of rows of seats there, and they kind of curve a little bit, so it's like a shorter row in the back, a medium row, and then like this little split thing. And the room is kind of set up so people can sit in and watch where the council members sit, or whatever event they host there. People sit, and these people will sit behind the chairs, and they speak, and there's people behind them. And the TV is set off to the side. And the one seat that's available is in the very center, very front row. So I'm just like sitting down, and I'm just right in the center of everybody. And I walk in there, and I'm looking around, and I take my seat, and then I kind of start to notice what everybody's got going on. Because when you're at one of these very, public kind of events, particularly these events, usually there's people with stickers or whatever. Well, the opposition stickers were red. They were these red, block the ban was the sticker, or a red S323. The people who supported the bill were wearing these blue hearts stickers. I'm sure that I could have found a sticker. I didn't know who had one, so I didn't have a sticker, which might have saved me in this scenario, because I walked in, and I believe I was the only person in the overflow room that did not have a block the ban sticker on. And so I was sitting right in the middle of it, and I'm just looking around, and I'm going, I'm in unfriendly territory here, so I'm going to kind of keep to myself. I'm not going to say anything, and I don't have a problem defending myself or sticking up for what I believe in by any means. You got to use a little wisdom, okay? You don't want You don't want the person sitting right behind you to go, you text somebody something and he's looking over your shoulder and he goes, shout something at you and beats you over the back of the head. You just want to use a little wisdom when you're outnumbered, 25, 30 to 1. So I just kind of sat there and was like looking around and started listening to the subcommittee. And it was good. It's dry. Okay. I don't know if you ever listened to subcommittee. It's not like, World Series baseball or anything, right? But it's dry. But they're working on amending the bill, seeing what amendments would or wouldn't pass, and what they were trying to do, what they were trying to accomplish. And of course, Senator Cash is the guy in South Carolina. I just don't see how anybody could say anything different in terms of actually caring about ending abortion. And I'll discuss the vote in a second, but the only one who will not compromise. He puts forth the good bill and fights for it. Had the privilege of shaking his hand, and I sent him an email before the event to show my support. And he would be talking, and some of the other pro-life in the other sense of willing to compromise pro-life people were there and talking and discussing things. And it was surreal, the experience. Anytime a pro-life individual would sit there and say something markedly tame, like, we're trying to protect babies. We're trying to protect children. We're trying to stop the murder of children. I'm trying to do what's right. Heaven forbid anybody in that Senate hearing talk about their biblical faith, which they did. They mentioned the Bible and what they believe to be true, and trying to honor the Lord, which is a great thing that politicians should do and must do, and will answer for not doing. But any time these politicians would mention this, the hiss could be described as nothing but demonic. I have felt some spiritual unease in my life, and I'm not a big, feeling the move of the Spirit type guy. Okay, I'm not. I was raised Southern Baptist. I'm now a confessionally Reformed Baptist. We're not real big on moves of the Spirit and feeling and sensing these things. I mean, that's just not, and that's not my personality either. Not the biggest emotional swings I feel. But I was sitting in this room, and you want to talk about unease. I was sitting there praying. I was just like praying to the Lord. I was like, protect me from whatever is in this room, and deliver these individuals that are here. And it would come out, man. Someone would say, Senator Cash, or even one of the other individuals would mention, I believe the Bible is true. Yes, and you're sitting there going, you're being dramatic. Okay, you're exaggerating. No, in no way am I exaggerating these individuals. And I mean, not to pick on anybody, but you want to talk about just the visual. I want you to get the visuals. Some of these were older white ladies with their, kind of nothing. Not that that's a bad thing. They were frailer old ladies, and they'd sit there and they'd hiss and they'd put and it was literally. It was like that. It was like they were being attacked. In a sense, they were. The Spirit of truth was cutting through their wicked worldview, and they couldn't take it. They had to. Oh no! I can't believe it. Just. It's like when they poured water on the wicked witch in the movie. It's like the witch melts and just melting. It's like that. It was like that. It was screeching, heechy, and literally the security at the Capitol had to come in multiple times and be like, ma'am, madams, please keep it respectful. Quiet down. Please stop hissing and shrieking. Yeah, they weren't shouting or anything, but it was loud. You could hear them. They would just be murmuring. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he did this. Well, we know you do that. Every time they said something, oh, yeah, we know. Oh, this guy. Just constant. I mean, they couldn't keep quiet. And and it was just so surreal to sit there. And there was even one lady propped her feet up on this, like, the table where people, like, sit and do hearings or whatever. And the guard came in there, security guy was like, this is not your living room. Take your feet down. And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, good for you. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Like, thumbs up. And then, of course, all the women were there like, oh, I desecrated the sacred... Literally, she's like, I'm so sorry. I desecrated the sacred facility. And everybody's like, I can't believe he came in there and told you to put your feet down. Oh. And that's the opposition. That's the opposition. That is the caricature. And again, not to demean the same principles by which we value the life of a person in the womb are the same principles by which I value these individuals that were in that same room with me. And that's true. But I'm also going to call a spade and say this is wicked. There was some evil, demonic oppression in that room. Those individuals loved the evil of killing children. I mean, you can't deny it. It's when you meet those individuals who are really passionate about abortion being the killing of babies to be legal and readily available. You talk to them and you're like, and this is kind of what I was getting at earlier. It's not real. I mean, there's a glossiness that comes over their face. And anyone who's, I mean, even if you've just seen the videos online, but certainly if you've seen them in person, you know what I'm talking about. It's an inhuman look. And that's not to call those individuals less than human. I'm not going to call anybody less than human, right? They're image bearers of God, certainly. But to be able to confidently, ignorantly, but confidently promote the murder of millions of unborn children as this good. So that's my little segment there. I just wanted to take a moment and recount to it what I'm sure many of you are aware of. But it was so real to me in that moment, and it it's something I knew, and it was real to me before, and I'd seen it, and I've met those people, and I've talked to them, and I get it, and I don't get it, but I know those types of people. I understand those types of people. But something about that day, yesterday, was different. It was different. But after I got out of that room, I got to make it in the main room and got to listen and sit there, and got to sit near some people that I was there with, supporting them and being able to spend time with them after the hearing, of course, and got to say hello to a few folks and meet some different people. But ultimately, the bill did not pass. There were certain amendments that the pro-life, and I use that term as opposed to the incrementalist pro-life that are, so incremental they never actually do anything pro-life. Those folks were there, and I believe it was four of them abstained. It was Senator Cash and one other individual were the only ones that voted in favor, and of course the 3 Democrats voted against. And it was really telling. It's really telling the state of South Carolina. If you are a South Carolinian and you care about the lives of unborn children, if you care about your neighbors inside of the womb, if you're passionate about the work of seeing an end to abortion, and not just an end, but a criminalization of those who would dare to perform such a heinous thing, if you care about that, I would just plead with you. I mean, call those senators. I mean, call those individuals and lovingly explain their grievous error. There's a great point. So, I mean, was this bill going to get passed exactly how it was? Were there going to be amendments added? Probably. Can we be realistic and say probably? Yeah, we can. But that's Senator Cash's. That's what's so admirable about him, is he's not gonna compromise. He will not let amendments be put in. He's not gonna do it. So it was just shocking, the response of the quote unquote pro-life individuals, that they would not allow it to move forward. They wouldn't even give it the chance to continue on to get to the next step in the pathway to becoming law. And it was shocking. It was not something that was totally out of the question in a sense, but it was just profound in what it signified, right? It was profound in what it portrayed about those individuals, right? And so my plea to anyone passionate about this fight, particularly South Carolinians, is to take note, to wake up, to see what time it is in terms of addressing the abortion crisis in South Carolina. South Carolina is effectively a safe haven for abortion in the South in a lot of ways. Are there good things going on? Are there good people doing good stuff? Sure. But it's a crisis. And my experience at that hearing was very profound, and it gave me a lot of pause. But I'll give some positive takeaways, and one of those is the blessing to be in the fight. I mean, amen, that we can have an opportunity to even have a hearing. Amen, that we do have senators like Senator Cash. What a blessing. Amen, that there was at least one other senator who was willing to vote in favor of the bill. And we will come back and we will see an end to abortion. We will. We will see an end to the killing of our children in the womb, of our neighbors who have yet to be born. It's coming. Christ is coming. He will do it. He will be victorious. Will it be sooner? Will it be later? Good Lord only knows. But what a blessing, what a joy to be able to be in the fight, to be there, to be supportive, to have the opportunity. And just want to take pause and time to be thankful for that. It's easy to be downtrodden when something this important just gets left to the wayside in a way. But it's also important to remember and meditate on the truth and the character of God and the victory that we will eventually see.